Alright guys, this is my sample piece for KG Gunkote. I'm just going to give you the pros and negatives as far as I see it as a gun finish. Put on another light. I know the LED is a little, washes out a little bit, but this is a scrap piece of metal coated with the stuff. I used a cheap electric airbrush, so if you see any flaws in the painting, like the runs, that's me being very bad with an airbrush. But the prep I did was sandpaper, which you're not supposed to do, and I used brake cleaner to clean it, which again, not supposed to do. The tech specs say use acetone and to use a sandblaster, which I will do on my gun parts. But just to make it a little extra hard and just easier for the test, I did that method. So I want you to keep that in mind. The positives of KG Gunkote is chemical resistance. Hops number 9 did nothing. I just hit it with this Q-tip, which has straight industrial strength acetone on it. Didn't touch it. No color loss at all. Another pro is it goes on very thin. I think it adds only about 3/1000ths of an inch to your part. So you can still see this was those lines. This was a brushed aluminum piece on this side, and you can still see that those delicate brush marks through the coating. So if you have roll marks or even laser engraving on your metal, that will still show through. If you have tighter tolerances like your slide to frame fit or your pins, this stuff will be very forgiving in that way. What I don't like is it's a bit soft. Now, I did cure it for an hour, as close to 375 as I could get, which is what they recommend. My oven is a toaster oven, so I turned it basically on its side to dangle it between the heating elements, and I put my thermometer in the back of it, and it was reading maybe more like 325, so 50 degrees cooler, but that was away from the elements. The thing about a toaster oven is if the closer you are to the elements, the hotter it's going to get, so it's really hard to regulate. For my 1911, I actually bought a rotisserie chicken cooker to rotate the part so it evenly cooks. And it's also larger. It's very difficult to use the toaster oven if you're going to hang something. So you cannot scratch it with a fingernail, but once it is scratched, like this scratch up here, if you do work it with your thumb, fingernail hard enough and long enough, I was able to get some off. Now, as you can see, just a little bit of blue on my thumb. So you can scrape it off with a fingernail if it's already started. And again, my fear is the thumb safety on the 1911 is going to create some wear, and then it's going to just grow from there. Now, this is only air cured for a couple days. Over maybe a week or two, it may get stronger than it initially is. I did scrape it with a screwdriver kind of lightly, and it was very easy to scratch. Now, that said, I scratched Cerakote on my current 1911. It's Cerakoted, and I scratched the slide, just sticking it in my pants, Mexican style, as they say. And the button, the back of my button is like aluminum or something, and that scratched it. So, you know, any coating will scratch. It's not necessarily negative, but I would like something a little harder. So next step is I'm going to grind this down with a wheel, get it back to bare metal, do the process over again. I'm going to try some VHT engine enamel, which is a high temp enamel that should, I mean, it looks cool. The standby paint is the Appliance Epoxy, but you get white, black, maybe gray, and those work really good. People have been putting those on AKs for a while. It's very resistant to the safety scratch. So good impact resistance, good heat, good everything, really, if it's applied well. But it's just kind of plain Jane. So I might go with white, but I will try that as well. But next will be the burnt copper engine enamel. I think that would look sweet on a gun as long as it does good on my testing. So if it passes hops number 9, that's probably the most harsh chemical that I'm going to use on a gun. But if it passes straight acetone, like this one does, that's even better. So more to come. That's the first test. Alright, next test. This is VHT engine enamel. Beautiful color. Fortunately, it's a solvent fail. The hops number 9, with a lot of pressure, was able to get some off. Just a little bit. Acetone melted right through it on the back. So unfortunately, it's a no-go for me. It is pretty. Now, I'd only put 1 layer of primer and then 2 layers of paint. Directions call for much more, but I have to control the mils. And it gained 3/1000ths of an inch, which is still on the thick side. So, fortunately, it's a fail. Let's see what the screwdriver does. I did bake it for 375. I know directions say 200, but my oven was having a hard time keeping that down. Well, I can tell you that's already better than the Gunkote. As far as scratch resistance, you really dig in. And if I dig in, yeah, we start to get some scratches. So if I left it, like this is literally right out of the oven, just cooled down. If I left it for a week, it would probably cure even more. But I'm trying to not give it a chance. I kind of want to, make it as difficult as possible for this stuff to work. I'm intentionally making it harder on it. Possibly could be better, but the fact that the acetone got through it is no good. So next we'll try Appliance Epoxy. I'm going to do the Rust-Oleum. If that doesn't work, VHT makes a brand as well. But time to strip it and do another test. Alright guys, we have a pretty clear winner. This is the Appliance Epoxy. It goes on really easy. I had a big trouble. The last one was the VHT engine metallic stuff. I did use the primer, which was easier. It's recommended. That stuff absolutely got tore through with the acetone. This stuff, not only did the hops number 9 do nothing, but pure 100% acetone bounced off like nothing. Did nothing to it. Feels smooth. I put only 2 coats. I put one that I just flashed it with the heat gun, and then I put another sort of medium coat after that. It's slick. After baking, it did turn sort of like off-white. Can you see that? Next to the cap. The cap is like white. It just became like a slight almond color after baking. I baked it in a rotisserie oven, which I really like because it's big enough for gun parts. Toaster oven's a little tricky. It's a little sheen, but not too bad. Like I said, it went on nice and easy, smooth, no runs, very easy to manage the paint. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Just take your time. No primer. This thing is hard. I just did it now, so it hasn't air cured for more than 30 minutes. Looks so beautiful. I hate to do this, but science. boy, nothing. Let's dig in a little bit. Alright, so I had to dig in pretty hard. And remember, this is a dusting coat and then like a light medium coat. But just like rubbing a screwdriver, nothing. That'll scratch Cerakote. Like I said, I scratch Cerakote. Cerakote will scratch. People think it's freaking invincible. It's not. It is a good coating. But this was $8 for a can, and I could do like 12 guns probably with this. So it's cheap. It's easy. Those light scratches, so you can see again. Nothing, dude. Nothing. You gotta dig in. Now, like I said, if you dig in with a screwdriver, I don't care what coating you have, it's gonna scratch. But this is amazing for a rattle can. Chemicals, nothing. Now, I've heard people use this, even brake fluid stuff, can't touch it. And this is a one part. You're not mixing things, not thick. You don't have to bust out your airbrush. You don't have to do all that crap. You really just squirt it and you're good. So I'm very happy. I think I'm going to do my 1911 in white. It only added about 1/1000th of an inch overall, which is pretty acceptable. I just have to be careful on rails and holes. So I got to plug with some toothpicks. But yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do black slide, black parts, black grips, and then the white grip frame, which will be aluminum, which this is aluminum as well, if I didn't mention that. So there you have it.